Welcome back, everyone, to another stream. We're gonna jump in right away. If you guys remember, we went ahead last time. We went ahead and got through the swampy area as Wolfling, and now we ended last time where we got into the Forest Temple. And now today we're gonna go ahead and take it on. Head on. Let's go ahead and jump in. So as we walk in here, I always like to there's some vines up there. We can probably get up there. Probably go get that actually right away. I also want to make sure that the sound is on. There's some vines up there. Yep, cool. Fantastic. Alright. So you can see on here that there is some spiders. So we should be able to take those down right away before we apply with our slingshot. You give me anything? Also, I monkeyed with the audio settings. I know last time we were having some troubles, or it wouldn't sound so good. Hopefully it'll sound okay now. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start by getting up here. I thought this would be more important. Nice. There we go. Take him down. And monkey guy got himself trapped again. So I'm gonna go ahead and free him. Can. Climb that monkey. Come on up!
From Zeta.
Hi, that's the monkey that stole your lantern! Doesn't look like she's beckoning you, aren't you the popular one? Hehe. Beckoning. That's an interesting way to put it. Also, aiming is very difficult. Maybe I'm too close. Maybe I'll scoot back a little bit. Raise the roof. Raise the roof, says the monkey. If you remember from last time, we got our sword and shield from the ranch. I think it's Ordon. We went ahead and stole that, but now we're using it for a better purpose. Monkey says to come on, follow me. So I will. Follow the monkey. Head on down. Ah! Spider! Don't like spiders. Oh, spiders creep me out. Ah! It's creepy. I'm gonna have to like get his poison. Oh man, there's a skull on his butt. Or his butt is a skull, I guess would be more accurate. Monkey's unfazed, but I made him flip, so cool. Can I were you your chest? Nope. Guess I can't do that. Alright, first order of business. Let's see some, like, torches of some kind. What does Midnight have to say?
What
are you doing? Turn the lights on. You want this right light the wall and make the place really bright. Thank you, Midnight. I did it. Zelda chime. Did something right. Alright, come on, monkey, come on. I don't know where he's leading me. It's really windy here. What the? Oh no! Run back, monkey! Who is that guy? He is... Monkey, no! He'll just die. Boomerang? Wow, that's attractive.
Oh, what's going on? Has the monkey fight? Oh no, can't go any further. We might as well go back. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like she wants you to take her somewhere, so maybe you should just follow her.
It's a her? Do you have a flower in your hair, monkey? And a tattoo? Hold on, do you have a tattoo? Hold on. Why do you have a tattoo and a flower in your head? I think that's not good for a monkey. I guess I can't just climb across. That's unfortunate. So the monkey's leading me over here. Alright, I just had to check something quick, but we're back in. Alright, over here, he says the monkey. I will get you. First time I did this, I was like, okay, what now? Like, what do you want? But you have to, like, jump. And press A at the right time to jump over. And that looks like you can climb up here. Would that do any good? No. No, it would not. Alright. Like the way I should go first. If I hit him, he becomes a bomb of sorts. I'll put him there because that looks exploded. Nice. What is this? Hello, sir. Can't see anything. Oh. Real at last! Gracious! I got it there, I couldn't squeeze back up. You were a big help, thanks. I've been looking for something in here, you see. Gracious, yes. You must need something here, too. Shall we try working together for a while, fellow adventurer? You may not think I look like much, but I can be quite helpful. I can even warp you out of here if you want to leave. So I don't think of me as a burden. Now let's get started. You met whoa. If you call her in a dungeon, she will let you out and allow you to return when you want. On the minus screen, set her to B and call her with B. If you set her to B, then you can use her without having to swap B. You got a blue booby. Oh, gotta break this pot, obviously. Alright, whoops. Oh, where am I going? Just a bomb again. Bomb bug. Bomb bug. I'm gonna bombard you, bug you. Oh, there we go. Alright, we're in one of the main hallways now. Jump. If you look over there, there's a locked door and a chest. I should probably take a look at that actually real quick here. A spider. Can I pull myself up? There we go. There's if you see right here, there's a chest. And it's hard to see. Anyway, these kinds of chests, these are big chests that contain boss keys. Or big keys. I forgot what they call them in this game. But we need to get that to get to the boss door. At the end of every dungeon, there is a boss. And we need to get there. Looks like this is a timing puzzle. Can I make it in time? Yes. That was hard. If you notice too, that's where we were, but we couldn't get to. So pretty easy. Pretty standard. Is that a chest? Sweet! That was an easy one. You got a small key! Yay! Is that all I can do here? Literally, that's all I can do here. Other than mess with this guy. Can't see him from this angle. Alright, cool. That's not what I wanted. Alright. Now I gotta go back. And if you remember, we had there was a door I pointed out that had to be unlocked. So we go ahead and do that right away. Oh, hey, monkey, were you waiting for me here? Guess that wasn't the way I was supposed to go, huh? Ooh, kind of scared me there. The monkey kind of scared me, not gonna lie. Use this key to unlock this gate. Another monkey and another cage. How many cages do they have, by the way? Those things are like, they don't look like they're particularly, like, easy to set up. They must have, I feel like the boblins, wherever they are. Oh, it broke. They just, like, the dumb creatures that, like, have been putting them in cages, I feel like they're not smart enough. So if you see here you can't get up there, what you gotta do is you gotta roll into it to knock it over. This is, see, those are the guys I'm talking about. They just look too stupid to know how to lock it into a cage. Alright, nice. There we go. Spin attack. Oh, stab you. Nice. Yay! Come on, follow me. Okay, we're coming. Come on, come on! Alright, let's go. Yeah, come on. There we go. Come on! Whee! Oh, I pressed it too early. Alright, up we go, here we go. There we go. Anything up here? Looks like I could climb here. Nope, nothing there. Nice, oops. Now, we have two monkeys. What we actually have to do now, if I'm guessing, if I remember correctly. Hold on. I could get over there if I wanted to. Is that something I want to do? No. Alright, we're gonna go over here. Back to the main room. Yay! Oh, well, who cares? That's fine. I could just walk around. Now, the reason we went that way and not this way is because this one is actually slightly longer. Never mind. It's actually not. I don't know what I'm worried about then. What about over here? Where does this lead to? Nothing. Okay. Go ahead and open this then. Leads us to another room. That is a bad guy that as you can see, there's like a mouth opening up on the top. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but there is. So we are going to go up there. There's also a mouth opening up over there, and that one we need to get to. So, that's right, we need to. I was swinging, you saw it. Alright, then we go like this. Go over here. Throw that. You'll eat it. Boom. And he dies. Very gruesome death. And we need another bomb to get that door. So we'll do that in a second. I also need to get up there. I feel like I should do all these things here. And then where was the original one? He's way over there. So I will go ahead and I'll do that. Pick him up, right? Oh, throw. Alright. Get a little faster. Alright. Ready? Alright, pick up. Pick up. Oh wait, there's one up here. Oh, I just got eaten. Well, I might die soon. I need some hearts. Hearts. annoying, like, Blue, you're gonna die soon. Better do something about it. Is this where I came in? Actually don't know. Alright, so right here, unable to cross because these two are like perfectly timed out the wrong way. Man, I don't like how the camera does right here, but like, when one is the right way, one isn't the right way. So I'm unable to go that way. So what I need to do, I couldn't jump up there for whatever reason. Oh, I know what I have to do. Okay, so now, if you remember, like this. I hope I didn't just die. I am very close to dying right now. What is this? This looks interesting. Oh, there's another monkey trapped there. He needs the key. Now, I remember getting stuck on this part too, because I was like, where's the key? But the key is in that chest, and we have to do the old hit it down, whatever. Yay, there's no key. You see that dive? I really need hearts though, like, literally any touch, and I'm dead. Also, there we go. Let's see if we can find some more. Yeah, it's still gonna yell at me. So, that guy there, we need to be very careful that we don't step on him because he will hurt us. Alright, now this one is the fun puzzle because this like activates the stairs. Need to activate that one. We need one more, I think. Unless, can I jump this? No, we can't just jump it. Alright, let's do it. Alright, there we go. So the fire activates the stairs. That will help us get up there. There is a spider up there, so I have to be careful. Be very careful. Looks like I can climb up there to get whatever that is. Now I have to do that. Oh, expired. There we go. Just gotta work my way around him. Get him to knock him. Yeah, come on. Get behind him. Spider is creepy. Come on, that should work. There we go. Finish, finish. Yes! Put my lantern away there. Alright, there we go. Nice. Lock that monkey. You're free, monkey. That's how monkeys tell you they're happy, I guess. Smash the pots here. Nice, 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 nice. Alright, so we got that. So that's good. Got a monkey. I guess we're freeing all the monkeys. I guess that's something we have to do. I don't even need that heart anymore. Nice. Red ruby. This is the first time we're seeing this. 20 rubies. Nice. Alright, let's climb and go back. Okay, so we're on over here then. I think we just gotta jump for it. I think I can jump this. Nice. Oh, monkey just died. I'm pretty sure there's something bad underneath him. Doesn't matter. Alright, so we could... Actually... I think I gotta just throw this one right here, right? Nice. I'm gonna go check out, see what it is. It's a chest. Ooh, piece of heart. Yes! Fantastic. Alright, we'll climb our way back then. This, nope, we gotta go the other way. I love how the monkey just runs to its death. It's like, oh, I'm following you. Down he goes. Alright, that's where I was. Now we gotta go in here. Location. Another monkey's trap. Alright, to get another key. I hear it. What? What? Attack me, I guess so. Right, so what I have to do, I assume, get this, throw a bomb in it probably. Do I have to kill him first? These guys. Ah. Nice. Boom. Alright, let's get that magic key. Oh, I gotta pick it up. We got a small key in the seal and a locked door, but only in this area. So probably use it for that, right up there. Hey, monkey. How are you? Let's get this out of your way. Yay! 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 Alright, anything important in here? Nope. Ooh, that looks fun. This is kind of cool, like... Got the temple area. I mean, it's like kind of cool looking. Kinda digging it. Alright, just checking my phone there. Now, I don't see any reason to be here still. Unless I'm supposed to go... Let me just check one more thing. Let me go check... Nope, not up here. I'm actually kind of blanking on what to do next. So let's try going this way and see if this is it. They are following me. Nope. Alright, I'm just gonna head back to the main room then. Monkeys. Monkeys. Back to the main room. I have 3 monkeys now. 4 monkeys. Come on! Come on! That's a lot of monkeys. I'm like collecting monkeys in my monkey collection. Has this been here always? You got a dungeon man! Nice. So I can press 1 to view the map, and it has different floors. Luckily, in the forest temple, there's only one floor. Ooh, how do I... Green air, okay. Map control. Oh, I gotta do that. Okay, that's gonna be kind of confusing. So we came in, this is kind of like where we've been doing stuff. We have to go back here. Remember that. Otherwise, that looks like a big area right there. And then we were over here, I think, for a little while. But we couldn't get across here because there was that center platform. And you can almost guess what's over here. Am I right? Come on, let's go, monkey said. Alright, so now we have enough monkeys. So it's just like before, we're going to swing across, except that you have to do it 4 times in a row. And if you fail, you die, so the stakes are a little higher. There we go, leap of faith. There we go. Nice posing, Link. Alright, let's do this. And we can't get over there because it's like awkward position. So let's go in here and see what's up. This looks intense. Ugh. Some dark magic going on. Oh, he's cutting down stuff. Welcome to the dungeon's mini-boss. There's a mini-boss in every dungeon where you have to face a slightly less powerful enemy, but it's pretty powerful. Love this music though. Oh yeah, so that's the gist. You basically knock him, and then when he throws it back, knock him down, and you hit him in the butt! Talk about a pain in the butt. But yeah, it's just those pillars again. He throws the boomerang. You knock him off balance, so then when the boomerang comes back, it hits him down. There you go. Nice. Oh, my butt! Hits his face and there. Knocks off this creepy bug. Yeah. Run, monkey, run! Run, little monkey. Magical. I am the fairy of winds who resides in this boomerang. You have freed me from evil, and now I have my true power back. Please take it with you. Use it to aid your quest, and may both my power and my blessing go with you. If you focus power in your boomerang before releasing it, it will unleash the power of the wind, leading you in foreseen ways. I gotta catch this. Oh, got the kill boomerang! This mysterious boomerang houses the Fairy of Winds. Ooh. Lock on the targets, pressing Z, Z, B. Striking, you can lock onto and strike as many as 5 things at once. That's 5 things.
I bet even the monkeys should be satisfied now. Okay, let's get to the communist place. We are gonna find something good, so let's keep searching in places we haven't looked yet.
Alright. So, let's replace the fishing rod. So they make you use it right away. This is also a cool area. This is like one of my favorite areas of the game, even though you spend like no time here. It's just, it's cool. And the music is awesome. It's a good time. Let me just see if I can quick get... There we go, heart. but they make you use it right away to get out. So you can see right there, I can hold B to do it, and this is to throw it, and it creates wind, right? So I can control the power of wind. I can also, when I do this, lock onto things, up to 5 things. Alright. So now we have the Gale Boomerang. Unfortunately, the monkeys will be gone. We're not going to be back that way. Now I can throw the boomerang and make it so get across here. I guess I can do that. I guess we use the boomerang maybe to knock that down. So I live by a spider's web, so I don't know why the spiders and those ugly guys are working together. What? Why can you jump so far? What?
Well, I guess there are still some monkeys we haven't freed yet. At this point, you should save them all and see what you can get for it.
And is always out to get something. Always out to get. Whoa! Whoops. Redo all that, I guess. Get for rushing, I guess. No. Alright. Now, if you remember from before, this is that other area that we thought we couldn't get through, but now we can. Also, who's setting up all these, like, platforms everywhere? I mean, this is kind of complex for dumb people. Alright, I want to go now to the place we were before. Right here. Looks like the bridge was kind of taken out here too. Also, these guys, I can go at them and knock them up. Now I can defeat them. So I couldn't before. So now, lock on. Now, if you remember, when I lit them, they went up. But when I unlight them, the platforms go down. So now I can get to this chest instead. That's something good. Gotta be so hot! Yay! Fantastic. Alright, is there anything up here worth looking at? Some hearts and some rubies, maybe? Not worth getting. I don't think there's anything else in here besides that thing. There's some rubies up there, I think. What's that ceiling? Nice. Alright. Knock that down. Let's get 5 rubies out of it. Oop. Here. Now, because we have the Gale Boomerang, we can head back. We're gonna go back to that original room where we were stuck before. Monkeys are ready. Alright, also I'm gonna knock all this stuff down. Set a chest. Let me get these rubies really quick. Come on. You got the compass!
It might be.
Well, if it isn't something useful as long as we have that, you should be able to find where the captured monkeys are, right?
In theory, yes. Apparently there is a chest. Aha, I remember this now. So, if you remember... Okay, we'll just do that one at a time. Nice. Same concept applies here. Alright, so we'll go like that. This, and throw. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. Nice. Just not a good chest, just kind of a mini chest though. You found a red ruby! Yay! So now we'll head on back. So what the boomerang is what they call a dungeon item. There you get a key item after defeating the mini boss of every dungeon. That helps you like progress through the dungeon easier. Like it makes your traveling easier. I remember this gave me like the hardest time. You can see these wind things on here, but it's like, what do I do with it? It took me like an hour first time I played this to realize there's markings on the ground. Oops. So you just go like this, and you follow the thing, and like that, and then like that, and then like that. I just kept doing it over. Nice. When it's elongated like that, that means I really figured something out. You got the big key. Use it to gain access to the lair of this dungeon's boss. Fantastic. And then, I don't know why I'm going over here, because it says there's a chest right here. No, this isn't this one, is it? It's a different one. Oh. No way I would have saw that. It's a cool area. I like this area. Yellow ruby. I'm gonna be too rich. Because my wallet only holds 300 rubies for whatever reason. I wish there was like a bank system to just deposit some money. There's also another chest in this room here, apparently, so I'm gonna go get that really quick. I actually don't remember there being a chest in here, but apparently there is. It says it's right below me. Or right, I mean, it doesn't tell me where it is exactly, but... How did I miss that? I mean, come on. Yellow ruby. This is a cool area too. It's just kind of outside, you know. It's just overall a good dungeon. A lot of good memories. Nice. There's something red over there. Must be a monkey. Where am I going? Oh yeah, this is where I went. Oh, monkey's like, hey, come this way. So this is like where we've been, you know. It's kind of cool seeing like an area from far away. But the dungeons are pretty straightforward. At least in this first one here. If there be a heart in this. No, nothing. Alright, now that we have this, I can move this. Of course, I can also miss. Nice. Alright, so I'm gonna say go ahead and I can go forward there, but oh, now they see me. do that like, oh no, I gotta fight two guys, but... I don't even have to think it. Alright. So... we'll go ahead and go in here. What's going on here? Okay, I have to be... Oh, come on! Should be able to knock that out and die. What the heck? Okay, I gotta get. Oh, come on! I don't have to. Alright, there is a guy there, and I need to somehow. Remember this scene right here. Remember this scene right here because on the title screen, I'll show you once we get pretty far into the game. Or like right after the title screen, they show like a trailer. That's part of it. Alright, so the monkey was like that one. Are you kidding? There's another one? Come on. Nice job, Link. Yeah. There we go. Alright, let's try this one. Nice. There we go. Yay! Stay away from the spider. Alright, we got another monkey. Fantastic. You could knock down stuff, I guess. Sure, I guess. Oh, no. Oh, I fell in again. Oh, that's annoying. Now we do the slow climb of shame. Oh, you know what? I never turned on. Just give me 2 seconds here. I never turned on the light here so you can see me better. There we go. That's fun. Can't believe I forgot to do that. Of course, it was pretty light outside, though. So. There we go. Alright, looks good. I don't think we got a key yet, though. So we're gonna have to go this way. So I'm missing something. I think so, though. Hi. Meep, meep. Meep.
I'll play Fortnite.
Why can you hate us? Oh,
Fine, we'll play without you.
I guess in order for us to check the temple out completely, we need the help of the monkeys.
My headset's not on right. So we need
What
the help of the
power?
monkeys.
Ah, well, let's help the rest of them.
Alright, how many more do I need then? Looks like there's 2 platforms left. So we can't get across there. But I can get over here. I remember this spot here. Nice. Alright, cool. Now, we climb. Oh, there's another spider. I didn't realize. If he finds me, I'm dead. No. You gotta be kidding me. I need to take them both down, it looks like. This is kind of frustrating. Now we have to do this slow climb up again. Okay, so what do I need here? Can I get up there? Nope, I gotta keep climbing. I do remember not liking this part. Just a matter of knocking down the spiders and then climbing up. Too many rubies pretty soon here. Alright, let's head in this door then. Can't say I remember this spot. Oh yes, I do. Okay. So there's a rock up there. And there's a bomb guy over there. What they're teaching me to do is I lock onto him. And then I go over there. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I remember having a lot of trouble with this too, because that's what I would do. I would try doing that, and I'd try throwing it. But what you have to do is you have to go on to him, and then lock onto that. So then it just takes it over to him. Now, same deal, but this time I can just grab it. Also, who has time to literally put a giant boulder in front of the doorway? Oh. Another yellow ruby. I'm getting a ton of cash. Alright, so there is a chest there. That's what I have to do. Whoop, that's not what I want. I have to lock onto him, the bomb guy, and then lock onto that guy. So same situation. Or not. I guess I just had to grab it. I guess I had to do this too. I was required to do this puzzle. Gotta get the key. Nice. Perfect. Now I should be able to just jump down. Or, you know, whatever. That way there. And then I will use the yellow boomerang to work my way back. And also right here. Alright, I got back. Now, I do need one more monkey before I can get across there though. And most likely, it's going to be in the room with the locked door. I do that. This. Oh, too soon. That's not what I meant to do. Can I just cheat it? Can't do that. Okay, so we'll try this. Do that. Perfect. Alright, now let's head into the locked door. Can't say I remember this room either. There's those guys. Can I just jump up here? Ton of money. Oh, I see there's a back way. So I'll go back to this tunnel here. Oh, I should have gotten money with looking. I will be very glad when I can be done with spiders. They are very annoying. A hassle to work with. Oh, this is fine. Quick check this here. No. No, it should be working. Oh, this is fine. Quick check this here. Alright, we're good. I thought we were muted or something. No. Like that, like that. I thought we were muted or something. Cool. Alright, let's keep moving. Give me the rubies. Whew. Is the music? Oh, we were muted or something. Cool. Alright, let's keep moving. This guy can't get out. What? What? Does he even have... Hold on a second. There's a very weirdly animated monkey. Alright, but we have to do here. Those two. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Pretty standard. That'll be good. Cool. Head on out. This guy's up there. Knock him down. Get him up. Now there is a chest right over here. I'll go ahead and open that, see what this is. Ooh, red rupee. Fantastic. And then we can just leave because we got the last monkey. Perfect. Assemble! Avengers, assemble! I've heard monkeys in a barrel. You ever have that? Monkeys in a barrel? How many monkeys do we even have in total? I don't trust that last monkey to hold me. I feel like he keeps like... Nice. Alright, how many were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 monkeys. Alright, I gotta time this out. Oh! There we go. Oh, that's cool that I got it the first try. Alright, I don't think there's anything up there. It's kind of a cool area, though. It actually reminds me of a place in Skyward Sword, the next Zelda game. You get into there for its temple. Oh, there's a fairy, I think, in one of these things, but I don't... Well, I'll go ahead and use this. Usually there's a fairy right outside the boss door. There we go. What fairies do? You caught a fairy in a bottle. When you fall in combat, this faithful friend gives you hearts. Set it to blah 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 blah. Restore 8 hearts. So, when you die, it restores 8 hearts. So, I pretty much have extra life. Here it goes. Alright. Here we go. This is it. This is for all the marbles. I like it. It's got some running water. There's a big tree. There's the bomb two of them, actually. Some poisoned water, I assume. It's purple. Alright, so I assume. No! Oh. Alright, whatever. I assume I can just throw it at you. I assume I just attack it, right? No, what I have to do, I assume then, is good, he can't reach me here. Alright, so I go like that, like that. Make him eat it. Oh, that's simple enough. Until he attacks. Oh, I gave it to him even though he's attacking me. Nice. Cool. There's an eyeball on that guy. Wait, where'd the bombs go? I need bombs. Bombs? Bombs, where are you? What? Hey! It's Big Buck Guy. He's got me a bomb. Oh, there's his head. Oh, great, now I have to target him. Can I just do that? Nice. Yeah. Nice. Alright, same deal. Same deal, buddy. Oh, poop, he's gonna tank. Oh, he can shoot poison. Acid. Oh, that kinda hurts, actually. Am I supposed to shield against it? Come on. Come on. Oh, he's back. Monkey friend. No, monkey friend. That works.
Well done.
That's
That's what I was looking for. That's a fused shadow. That's what the light spirit called dark power. You remember what that spirit said about how you had to match the power of the King of Shadows? Could it really be so easy? Is this all there is to it? There's a total of 3 of you shadows. I think the other light spirits have the rest. If you want to know exactly what few shadows are, well, maybe I'll tell you if you find the other 2. I guess you better do your best to find them. So let's not waste any more time here when we could be looking for the other 2. I'll get you out of here. You pick up the heart container that fell out of that thing. So this here is a heart container. Your life energy has increased by 1 and has been fully replenished. So this one, it doesn't have like the little piece of it. This is a full-on heart container. Now I have 4 hearts, as you can see on the top left. This is also kind of a cool area. We've got like falling tree leaves. I guess it's raining. Is it? No, it's not. That's a lot of water and nothing. What is this one? What? Oh, there's just water comes from up there. Alright, very cool. I like this area, you know. And they say hi. Want to go outside? Are you all done here? Yes. I am all done. Do you want to save? Yes. Alright, last time we finished, we were almost at 3 hours, and now we should be almost at 4. Heroic Jesse, do not think that Hyrule is now saved from the spread of Twilight. Leave these woods and go to the west, where you will find protected by the spirit Elden. There you will find those who seek. My friends, potential girlfriend. Woo. But know that these lands lie in twilight. They are now a dark realm covered by the clouds of dust. If you set foot beyond the curtain of twilight, you will revert to your beast form, so be prepared. Hero chosen by the gods, leave these woods and go west to the land of the spirit Elden. That's better, such it should be much easier now. Of course, you feel the need to help the other light spirits, don't you? Well, don't worry. When you turn into a beast again, I'll take good care of you. The first thing you need to do is find the land covered in twilight. Once you do, I'll help you out. See you later.
And then we're actually going for the swim over here. Love the springs. Alright, so there's one thing we need to do before ending for today. This is actually on our way, which is actually fantastic. So we'll go ahead and yeah, we'll go this way here. Talk to this guy. So, you need oil, guy? Right now we have a 100 ruby oil bottle and a 20 ruby refill juice to choose from. Alright. So, when we first did this, I thought like, oh, he's just going to charge me $100 for oil. But no, actually, I'm going to buy one oil bottle. Because first, I have a ton of rubies. And second, you get... Here, I'll show you. Thanks a lot, guy. Here you go. You get a bottle of oil. You need this to light your lantern. You literally get another bottle. Isn't that fantastic? Set it to your lantern where to be, and then press the down arrows on the D-pad to use the oil filling your lantern. Say, guy, you been to the forest temple yet? Isn't it great? I mean, sure, there's been a couple monsters throwing things up lately, but still, that's just the world we live in right now. You know what I mean? These things are rough all over. Alright, Afro Man. We'll see you later. Because I'm going here. I need a bomb or something. Because I can't get there. I have to remember that one for later. So we're going to head out this way. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Or then I'm gonna go buy some lantern oil from that guy, actually, so I can spend some rubies. So I'm wasting time. Just be quick, be quick. As long as I don't do that. Yes. Yeah, I just need to spend rubies. Just to be honest. I don't need as many rubies as I have right now. Kill him again. Oh, I gotta finish him? I missed it. I rule for you. Look at that horizon with all the twilight. Like that's like the province that I got to. Look at that. Just an open big field here. Look at that Hyrule Castle, you can see it in the distance there. I'm curious if there's stuff around here though. I don't know. We'll find that later. Nice. Alright, is there something down over this way? I mean, I'm sure there is, but let's head where we need to be here. Which I assume is straightforward. Oh, look at that. Actual birds. Oh! Oh, he's still alive. Oh, there goes 5 rubies. There we get that. So we're going over a bridge. Look at how nice and peaceful that land is there. Alright, we're heading towards Hyrule Castle then. Nice. It's getting kind of annoying, all these birds. Not gonna lie, a little annoying. Are you kidding me? How many birds are there here? And then you? We're just gonna continue running. I don't care. I'm just wondering, because we could probably go that way too. Try just going to Hyrule Castle first. See if that works. Wait, they said go to the west. Literally, they said go to the west. I am so dumb. We're going to the west. So if you look at our map here. Yeah, it said, he said, remember, go to the west. So this is where we were. We're gonna have to go all the way here. Alright. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't listen. Now I feel dumb because I feel like we might have missed something over there. Alright, well I'm gonna go back up on the bridge here and then we'll go that way in case we miss something. can't believe I literally missed the only instruction I had. Hey! Where are you coming from?
You know, Father, there's a black wall ahead that blocks the way. I thought I would deliver a few letters, but it seems impossible.
I am the honorable and dependable letter carrier, known to some as the postman. Now that I have introduced myself, please take this letter and read it at your leisure. To read a letter, press plus to open your collection screen and select the letter. You can do that to read any letters you receive. Do it whenever you see fit. When my business is concluded, onward to mail. This silly guy, the postman. Well, let's read the letter. I have the letters here. Also, so here's what I got. I got a wallet with 300 rubies. I have a fish journal. Still have that green gill. An Ordon shield, Ordon sword, and a hero's clothing. There was said that the hero who long ago saved Hyrule from danger was this. I have hidden skills. The ending blow. We already know that. Actually, what happens when I click on it? Nice. Alright, so it tells me how to do it. And then we go to our letters. Post office notice. The postman. About mail delivery. If I have a letter for you, I will approach you at high speed. Please do not flee. So he literally gave him, like, he delivered his own letter to me. That's funny. These are fast running guys over there. What the heck is that guy? Must be nighttime. Did I not get him? There we go, got him. What do I get for killing him? How much? Scoop, what? Sure. I'll scoop. Oh, I don't have any. I just have lantern off. Alright, now it's nighttime. It took a long time to get here. Oh, I don't like this music. This is it. The Wall of Twilight. Let's look at everything. Can't really see much. Alright, this is it. Just one last little look here in my human form.
Your compass?
Hey, that was much closer than I thought.
What do you
You
mean
remember,
you
right?
need to
You know what this is.
You take a
If you set foot in there, we
strong
might be a wolf again for quite some time.
You need a
Or at least as long as it takes you to save the light of Eldon from the Twilight that I rode. So shall we try to go see the light spirit of Eldon?
Yep, let's do it. Ooh. This is it. Want me to let you into the Twilight? Yes.
That's a good point. Now you need to listen to what I say from now on. Oh, look how lovely the backlight of Twilight are so fetching today. I feel so much more at ease here. And you look so much better like this than in those dusty old clothings anyway. So let's get going. Don't worry, give it up. Did you hear me? You can't return to the world of the light that easily. Give it up. Okay.
I guess I can't make it through there. So now I'm back in the Twilight, heading into a new location. Can't go back into the world of light, which is so bright, I guess, from this world. So that will do it. I'm gonna go ahead and save the game. Continue playing. No. And now take us to the title screen. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. I had a ton of fun recording this episode. The Forest Temple was a blast to do. I'm looking forward to next episode where we go ahead and take on the next Twilight area, province, and save the Light Spirit Eldon. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up. If you really like this video, please consider subscribing. Tap that bell button on the bottom there so you know get updates when I do start my stream, and you can join in the conversation when I do stream. I do enjoy that. We'll catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.